all, welcome to another episode of Geek Judge. This is our episode number 3. We already had done 2 episodes, and thank you for your ever welcoming messages and pinging us to add more stuff and everything. So again, this is going to be me and Bala Subra. We're going to talk about things that matter to us, things we had observed, and what we want to discuss. Do share your thoughts and feedback to us, and we would like to improve it. So with that said, let's get into the episode directly. Bala Subra, thanks for joining, Bala. So let's start with the top 3 things that boggles your mind since last week. What are the top things from the AI world that you want to talk about today?
Hey, thanks, Dinesh. Welcome. And 3 things which really grabbed my attention. The first one is Microsoft Build 2026. Why agents are becoming first-class citizens. We had been saying that, but now there were a lot of showcase to prove that and how to enable that with, and of course, Marona 2 and quantum computing coming soon was even more absolutely earth-shaking for me. Second big thing is that I'm a huge fan of companies like Databricks, Snowflake. Snowflake had their summit, which was pretty cool. They are telling you already have the data and you are going to use the same exact governance, all your guardrails around it. But now let's make the agents use the data and how to enable that. So I think they're in a very unique position because we all know how data is so critical for AI. And the third big thing for me is Anthropic's IPO and seeing that I'm really excited about the IPO season and especially OpenAI targeting consumers while Anthropic is targeting business, how it's going to play out. What about you? What are your picks?
Perfect. I think we have some a winner in common, right? So the 3 things that are in my mind is, first thing is, of course, Anthropic, right? The big valuation. We'll talk about this. That's going to be part of our deep discussion today. So we'll talk about how Anthropic is valued, why it is valued at that price, and is it going to sustain at that price, right? So those are the things that I've been worried about. Like the other thing, I'm still not able to get my head around is Anson Hong. You know how much I like him. So I'm still trying to deconstruct what he had presented in the Computex. I like his way of presentation. I like the way he markets NVIDIA, not only NVIDIA but also his partners, right? So in terms of bringing up the computers, laptops to everyone's home, his chipsets, introduction of chipsets, and then of course his $100 billion per year investment to Taiwan. And the third one, again, we're going to talk about is token economics, right? This is something that hits very close to our heart. I think you live in an economy where, with the engineers, where how many tokens we consume is going to impact how much money we're going to spend on AI. So that's been, at least within our developer community, within our C-suite members, that has been a consistent discussion over the past weeks. So that's something meaning how much amount we are spending for AI tokens these days. Is it really a right investment to do it, or should we stop people from using too many tokens? Should we start talking about rationing of tokens is what we're going to talk about. So those are the 3 things. So at least 2 of the things that we have definitely in common. So let's go into this one. Which one do you want to start first?
Let's start with Anthropic because I think we need to be. There are investment gurus out there, and of course there are finance experts. So it's a very difficult thing to talk about. So I'm really curious. We had beaten to death a little bit in our Tamil podcast, which we had been doing for more than a year right now, with 40 episodes in AI. So I'm curious to hear how you are presenting that to the tech geeks in English.
Yeah, absolutely. So Anthropic, the valuation, the big sticker price is what surprises, right? So everyone thinks about how is a company being valued, right? So now Anthropic, we all know OpenAI and Anthropic are kind of tough competitors, and we all know that OpenAI is already announced that they might go IPO this year, and then everyone is thinking that it will be hitting the first $1 trillion market, but in between that, Anthropic, they got a serious hedge. People who are in venture capitalists, they know you go with series A, B, and C, and then the moment you are at a series H, that means that you are very close to the IPO. So the series H, they got around 65 billion. So this values their company at around $965 billion, which is almost close to $1 trillion. That makes Anthropic, the world's largest AI company. People might say that SpaceX is also going to come, which is 1.75 trillion, which is higher. But SpaceX is not just AI. SpaceX also has Starlink, which is almost like 1.2 trillion. So if you compare that one, the AI part of it, XAI, within SpaceX, is only $250 billion valuation. So Anthropic definitely is at the $1 trillion mark, with around 665 to go 965 to start with. That is little, like, that makes OpenAI a little shy of Anthropic. OpenAI is currently valued with the previous funding round. It's currently valued on 850-ish billion mark. So again, why did Anthropic end with this particular number is what really I started looking at the numbers, right? So everything is driven by revenue, right? In the world of finance, or in the world of AI and everything, the revenue that Anthropic is able to post is around $47 billion, which is pretty much almost double of what OpenAI has posted, right? So for 47 billion, when you take 47 billion, the way the valuation work is like, how many X times is that revenue is going to be your capital, market capitalization. So that is around 20 to 22, 23x of your revenue is what is Anthropic is. So that's a big number, right? So that's what drives the valuation. So if you compare, what is OpenAI? OpenAI currently valued, their run rate is around 25. They are at around close to 37 to 38x, right? And so if you compare that, Anthropic even is at a 20 to 25x value, it is still cheaper. So now let's compare it to other AI companies like Amazon, or when Google went IPO, Amazon was still overpriced. Like taking Nvidia is around 30x times the revenue growth they had, and then they are showing a positive revenue growth. And again, when Anthropic if the numbers are true, if the numbers are going to hold, the 47 billion run rate is going to be still a higher number, right? The third thing I was looking at is the user base, right? OpenAI has 1 billion user, and most of them are consumer based, but Anthropic really focused on the enterprise part of it. So whenever somebody who's coding, who's using on the enterprise world, they all use Anthropic, they use Claude. So even with the limited number of monthly average users, they call it MAU. The Anthropic's MAU is very less, but they are dense, meaning that less number of people use most number of tokens and for most useful work. So there's a ROI potential, meaning that when you're using as a consumer, for example, even though a billion people are using ChatGPT, or a billion people are using Nana Bananas, or Google, their revenue or return on investment is limited because it's consumer product, compared to Claude, where you are using it for developing a code. So those are some of the things that I had seen through. I think that's why I think it's a very good value in terms of money. Again, I'm not prescribing people should go and jump and buy into an IPO, but if you just compare between the other AI companies, it's definitely higher. And then if you compare it along with Amazon, or Google or Facebook, which were the previous eras IPOs. Those are big IPOs. In '97, Amazon went IPO, Google went in 2004, and Facebook in 2012, right? And you know where they are. And these are all the trillion-dollar companies. That's why I'm picking those things up. And then this has the highest run rate in terms of revenue, which is around 47 billion. So that's it. You have your numbers, Bala. What is driving your interest on Anthropic?
I'm never a numbers person like you, like the way you really presented. You did a great job there. And for me, it's about the people. I really envy Anthropic by the way they are poaching left and right. My favorite guy, Andrew Karpathy. And then there is this another guy, Clive Chan, who just got poached from OpenAI. So it used to be Elon Musk who used to do these kind of things, but Cloud Anthropic being so righteous and so almost like a but still they are doing that, and they already had great people. It's like they started with like the stellar cast. I was watching another podcast and they were talking about the Indian cricket team, which is like Indian cricket team is like Red Sox and Boston and Yankees put together kind of team, and they were talking about how the Indian cricket team could be made into four teams and still they could be number one. Similarly, I think Claude Anthropic has everyone. Reed Hastings, Rahul Patel, the who is who of IPOs and already the biggest product folks. So that is the most important number I see when I think about Anthropic. Closing
Yeah.
comments on, like in sense. if Anthropic is successful, that is, I'm thinking it's going to help other folks in a huge, and in the, it's going to propel everyone up, right? What do you think?
Absolutely. Again, taking the focus from adoption into getting revenue generation as an AI company, right? The cost of these. We'll talk about this cost of tokens and everything later. But overall, if you think about it, we have a lot of money that needs to be spent, and then we need to start thinking about how much revenue you're getting back. So Anthropic starting with the $47 billion revenue is a big good sign for me, right? So that will also kind of like other companies will start thinking about that one, don't go beyond the users but how much dense they are. So that's Anthropic. So let's move on to the next one, which is the token economics part of it. So token economics, this is a real paradox. I think we talked about this one. So last year in the world of AI, it is the world of adoption, right? Everyone wants to be AI something else. So every other company, especially I'm talking specifically about the tech companies and even people who are in technology, they are pushing people to start using more tokens. The adoption is a big thing. My company is using so much of tokens. My X number of my code is written by AI, and those are the narratives that people want to create. Those are the narratives the CIAs want to create. So now the CIAs are kind of stepping back, and the CFOs are coming back forward, meaning that the CFOs are asking, "Hey, you're spending so much money. How do you calculate this revenue?" Right? That's entirely the finance part and what is the reality. The second thing is when the cost of something goes down, right, we think that the total price you pay for it will come down. But there is in the economics, there is something called as a Jevons paradox, meaning that when the price of something goes down, you tend to spend more of it, and your end product cost for that one increases. So this is a classic Jevons paradox thing, meaning that for 4 years back, a price of a token compared to the price of token today is almost 1,200 times lesser, right? But the total amount of money every company spends on AI has gone up dramatically. So, point in question, the Uber executive, one of the Uber executives said that they had a 1 year worth of budget allocated for AI, and their team burned it through in 3 to 4 months. So they have started thinking how do you really using genuinely AI for what it is worth. So what it means again is hey, is the money spent on AI is really worth? The second thing we want to talk about is everyone is talking about AI replacing software engineers. So let's say, especially in places like New York, and you are from Boston, we are what we call as tier 1 cities. Software engineers typically get paid anywhere from 150 to 250. But I'm talking at a minimum or even 100K. But what is happening today is a typical person, a mid-tier engineer spending AI, they are spending close to 60 to 150,000, right, in terms of AI tokens. So is it worth for you to get into that AI world, and is it worth for you to spend that money and replace a human resource with AI is what we're talking about. So again, this is where we need to juxtapose with the Google's DeepMind, Dennis Asabis. He says that we are not going to lay off people, we are not going to let go people, we are going to hire more humans, right? Maybe we can tie it to this. Maybe this is the reason. You can use AI, but we need to use AI very intelligently, meaning that we need to be cognizant of how much token we are using. We need to be cognizant of how our team is rationing those tokens. So the whole thing is that as an architect, you think about how to save latency, how to be completely reliable. So I think very soon the architects will start thinking about token economics, how economically can your team use the tokens is what I'm thinking about. So I know you also are reading about, we had been discussing about this token economics. So what do you think about this area, Bala?
It's a great question. I had to go back to the Snowflake Summit keynote, in which clearly the Big Five, or whatever used to be the Big Five accounting firms, consulting firms, CEO is saying, how can you, what is the ROI? Where is the value? How do you measure this to the bottom line? So that is going to be the key. Yeah, like Henson was pretty aggressive when he said token maxing, and then your performance appraisal is going to be based on how many tokens are you spending, and the next hire is going to go to a company which is going to give them $1,000 credit instead of $600, $500 credits, so on. But the whole thing is there are three things. First thing is that the producer, us, the developers, are confused about like how are we getting measured. Second, the persons who is giving us all these capabilities, Cloud and OpenAI, are a little bit abstract in how the billing is happening. They are saying, "Oh, we can go use this Codex desktop. Oh, you are getting free tokens for so many usage." So it's as muddy as hell right now with the billing. And my favorite guy, Corey Quinn, who was like in AWS Cloud when cloud billing was equally as muddy as hell, jumped in and helped the companies figure it out, is jumping into AA billing. Uh, where you are spending, how you are spending, how to reduce it. Also, the big trend, the third big trend I'm saying is that my laptop, your laptop has tremendous power, and we are only getting more powerful laptops all the time. We can run Olama, we can run LM Studio if you're a Windows person. So we are not harnessing that, to use the word harness in a double-edged sword way. Those are the three big themes I had. Like the AA companies are not transparent with the billing, and us is not clear with the objectives, and we are not fully using whatever resources at our disposal. Hopefully, these three things merge and a new pattern emerges. How do you see these things playing out?
That's a very fantastic one. I was just like literally shaking my heads up and down, like when you were talking about this one, right? So there's a big push to go towards cloud, right? So for everything, go to cloud. Right now, with this token maxing and the token economy coming in, right? You want to spend less and less tokens. You want everything to build within your laptops. So that'll be a situation where you'll have a hybrid tokenization or hybrid ALLMs, right? So you might have open source and Olama kind of a setup in your laptops where most of the smaller things will be dedicated to that, and then some higher thinking and higher coding abilities will be like pushed to things like cloud, right? So I think that's a very good thing. And we also like we talked about open cloud in a different session, right, where people are started using Apple Minis for running the open cloud instances, right? So we at our organization we also have a similar open cloud, a similar model where chat agents can run it. So those are very good points, right? So again, I think the thinking about like token maxing, even like I think Anson, one of our favorite friend, he told like everyone should be using 500 to a typical engineer should be using it. But now the token maxing is dying down, and as Uber executive has said, like the gamification of token has to stop. So now people need to start thinking about what is the return of investment on your token, and how much money worth of the end product is delivered with the AI needs to be thought about. So I think it got cheaper, but we are spending more. But are we spending on the right approach, and if we're getting the right outputs, is how we are going to measure through it. I think that. And anything to add on that one, Baba?
No, you summarized it really, really well. I just want to call out the new machines that are coming out. We have seen RTX Spark and Intel Core Ultra 3, and Microsoft Build announced a new machine too, which is all shiny and looks extremely like superpower. And so the future AI growth is going to be in our hands, in our phones, in our PCs, in our tablets, in our Roomba, or whatever used to be the next generation vacuum cleaner robots and other things is what
Yeah,
I
I
think.
think that's very well said. Like we have Roomba in every home, so like we never thought that it's going to come in. We have Alexa every houses, and we have people use Siri for everything else, right? So I think the AI integration is coming through it. With that said, I think we covered like just two topics, and we were able to get to those core points. Like I said, so the two-part topics we covered, just to summarize, was like the Anthropic IPO valuation, and then the second thing was about token economics. I don't know even if token economics is the right word, but I just used it. I combined economics and token, but I think probably somewhere I should have read it about it. So the age of AI architecturing would include token economics in the future, is what I'm thinking. And then your last point is very true, right? you'd have like personalized AI agents, personalized AI LLMs that will be running on your personal devices, whether it be like phones or PCs, or even like your devices at home. Like your washing machines might be a LLM, small LLM model running everything intelligent. With that said, like thanks Bala for joining me. I think we had tried to make it very short and sweet as much as we can. What we look for is like go through this one, provide your feedback, and tell us what else we need to discuss about. We can do a little bit deep dive also, and if there is a necessity, we can like jump into each of the activities. We have enough material even to cover for like 20 to 30 minutes if needed. But I would like our watchers to share it, and like share your feedback, share with your friends. However brutally honest it is, like just share it, and we welcome everything. With that said, thanks Bala for spending your Sunday afternoon with me, and we'll meet you in the next episode.